Pleistocene date than the other. The Middle Pleistocene, it may be recalled, extends from 100,000 to 1 million years ago. It is taken for granted that the two sites in question could not possibly be contemporaneous.
Wow.
With this maneuver completed, the two fossil hominids, now set apart from each other temporally, are then cited in textbooks as evidence of an evolutionary progression in the Middle Pleistocene.
God dang it.
This is an intellectually dishonest procedure. The honest thing to do would be to admit that the evidence does not allow one to say with certainty that one hominid preceded the other and that it is possible they were contemporary. This would rule out using these particular hominids to construct a temporal evolutionary sequence. All one could honestly say is that both were found in the Middle Pleistocene. For all we know, the more advanced human-like hominid may have preceded the less advanced ape-like one. But by assuming that evolution is a fact, one can then date the hominids by their morphology and arrange the fossil evidence in a consistent manner. So yeah, this is...
And you can see how setting that up, like initially, you're not going to find, like it makes it less and less likely that anybody is going to find something that's out of sequence.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to take if they find some, hominid fossils in some dig, that's going to be where they date it, how they date it. And they're going to date it on stuff that's already been dated.
Yeah, that's right.
In this way to get this timeline.
Yeah.
So it's just a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right. And I also find it interesting that, like, why are the hominids evolving if nothing else is?
Yeah, that is a good point, too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we got to the end of what I have, the notes that I've got marked in the book there. So,
okay.
So that's all I'm going to read for today. There's a whole bunch more on this kind of thing. I'll probably skip more of it, and I think we'll probably finish the book on the next episode. But yeah, this has been a learning experience. I mean, we both read the book before, but to really go through it piece by piece and bit by bit here has been really interesting.
Yeah.
And to be able to discuss it in depth and in detail.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
I still like the idea that the more like that the uniformitarian time periods of our geological history is where things stabilize evolutionarily, right? And there's not a whole lot of change.
Right.
And then you have some kind of upheaval of the environment, and climate drastically changes, and the habitation changes, and that's when you have a rapid evolutionary development. If you could,
I agree with that. Yeah. And it may be partially hybridization and all kinds of stuff going on.
Space genes coming out.
Space genes coming down. Yep. Magnetic field goes away and starts changing stuff.
None of it explains how it all began in the first place, but
right. Yeah.
Still interesting. I mean, I guess in the theory of evolution, it sort of implies that basically there's so many things happening, right, in the universe that somewhere by accident eventually some like really complex molecule will form that is the basis for life. And yeah.
And you just have to wonder if that is what took place. And, who knows? It's possible that it could have happened that way. But if it could have happened here, it should have happened more than once.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting to me. Now, I love the concept of great filters. How many are there and where do they exist in the timeline? Do we have any in front of us? And how many have we already passed?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that I also am constantly thinking of this, again, I picture these overlapping circles, with the Vesica piscis in the middle, and one circle is order and the other circle is chaos. And Earth seems to be that. it's got just enough stability
Yeah.
for things to be able to stabilize for a while, but it's got enough chaos to keep stirring things up, to make things change and advance and shift into different modes. Maybe advance is the wrong word. But adapt, to shift, to change, to
and that adaptation, that it's like that's the impetus for the adaptation to manifest, right? And so it probably happens in many different ways, and not all of those are viable.
Right. Yeah.
So you end up getting weird. That's why I really like the hybridization thing, because it throws in a whole new blender.
Yeah, it does.
In a way, it's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does throw in a blender. All right, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, like I said, probably finish the book next week, and then we'll be moving on to other topics, but always keeping this one in mind.
Yeah.
That's the idea, the concept of the ongoing conversation.
And we're going to be watching that Mexican cave.
Oh, yeah.
Development.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going to happen with that.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Well, you guys can get a hold of us, brothersoftheserpent@gmail.com. Keep those emails coming. I am reading them on the show again, and one day we will catch up. Hasn't happened yet. Hasn't even come close. As you could probably tell, we're still reading Serapeum emails. Website, brothersoftheserpent.com. That's where you can find all the podcast-related stuff, including our merchandise, buy Snake Bros hats, buy shirts, all kinds of stuff. Join the Pyramid Scheme, which will send us straight to pyramids. Support the show. If we give you guys any value, then you can give us some value back through Patreon or PayPal, and you can find links to those on the website. Thanks to all of you who have done that. And remember, we are adding Patreon content these days. So if you join the Patreon, the Brothers of the Serpent Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/Brothers of the Serpent, or just a link to it on the website, you get some Patreon content. We've already posted a couple of Patreon extra segments there, and we will be doing more in the future. Give us reviews wherever you can. Share the shows. Follow us on Twitter @SnakeBros with no vowels. Join the Facebook group. Join the Discord chat. There's a link to that on the website. And check out the Library of the Serpent, which is run by Jeff, who also runs the Discord. Thanks so much to History Shift, who takes all of our podcasts and turns them into videos for YouTube. Thanks to Pod Doodles, who is right now in the midst of doing another excellent Pod Doodle about the episode 200 UFOs Trinity Report. And he really took the whole avocados, UFOs, or triangles, and chips, guacamole
awesome,
to the next level. Yeah, you got to check this out. Those are guacamole dishes. He really took it to the next level. So thanks so much to him. We really appreciate it. He's got a great sense of humor. Yeah, the
chip chips,
and avocado guacamole. He's got the avocado crash. There's guacamole on the ground next to it, and there's chips in the sky. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And also, big shout out to the guys over at Grimerica. Congratulations, dudes, on your 500th episode. Holy crap. They just did a big extravaganza, call in 4 hours, and they had the lines were jammed the whole time.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. And also Ben from Uncharted X. Thanks a lot to him. We're going to be doing more Swapcasts with him in the future, I think. And he just put out a new video about a new pyramid video that I have to watch. I've been seeing lots of good things about it. So yeah, shout out to Uncharted X and Grimerica, and of course Soraya over at Where Did the Road Go?
And a shout out to Anne. Anne, you did not tell me if you wanted to remain anonymous, but I'm still not going to read your last name. But people need to know. If you give me a donation, give us a donation on PayPal of $50 or more. I, in the future, was planning to read your name on the podcast.
Yeah.
If you want an alias, put it in there. Otherwise, I'm going to read your name. But I won't do it this time. We're still getting used to this process. So for now, until I hear otherwise from Anne, we'll just say Anne. Anne is the executive producer for this episode.
Ooh.
And she sent us a $200 donation for the solstice. She says, what an eventful 6 months it has been for you there since last solstice.
Wow.
Wishing all good things for you and your plans. So here's another little push.
Man.
So thank you so much, Anne.
Thank you, Anne. All right.
Awesome.
And I wanted to give a shout out to, let's see, let me pull this up here and make sure I get it right. We just had a conversation with the people over at the Michigan UFO Sightings and Paranormal podcast.
That's right.
And that episode should be coming out soon, so look for that. And they just published an episode they did with Ben. So if you're interested in hearing more about what Ben talks about, plus some of his thoughts on UFOs and paranormal stuff, check that out.
Yeah.
So we'll be episode 9. So looking forward to that coming out. And yeah. Other than that, thank all of you guys so much, all you listeners out there, because we love you.
Always have.
Always will.
Good night, Adamu.
Get back to work.